In 1963, a British pilot named John Kilby was flying over the jungle near the Malaysian town of Kuching when he saw something strange. Below him, almost like a mirror, was a clearing in the shape of a perfect circle. It looked like someone had wiped the top off a coconut. Curious, he landed his plane nearby and walked into the jungle to investigate. There he discovered a small village he'd never seen before, inhabited by people who'd never seen a white man before. The natives welcomed the pilot warmly, offering him food and drink. Then they led him to the center of the village where a huge tree had fallen, revealing a large hole in the ground. The pilot suggested that they look inside and was rewarded with a smile and a shake of the head. When he asked why, one of the villagers grabbed his hand and placed it on a rock monolith hidden in the foliage. The rock monolith was covered in strange symbols that seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. The pilot took a small piece with him as a souvenir. Back in England, he showed the rock to several experts, all of whom agreed that its composition was unlike anything they'd ever seen before. One expert even claimed that it contained traces of uranium and thorium, but perhaps most strangely of all, the pilot soon began to experience strange symptoms, including intense headaches, weakness, and blackouts. As he lay in his darkened room, he could hear whispers coming from the walls, and his dreams were filled with terrifying images of shadowy figures and glowing green eyes. Eventually, the pilot threw the rock back into the sea where it sank. To this day, no one knows what the rock monolith was or where it came from, but some believe it may have been cursed. In 1831, an Irish sailor named Thomas Allen was sailing off the coast of Africa when his ship ran into a violent storm. The crew battled the elements for days until they finally reached a small island and anchored in a natural harbor. While exploring the island, they discovered a small village that appeared to be abandoned. As they looted the empty huts, they found strange golden idols and jewelry made from human bones. They also found a large chest filled to the brim with gold coins. The sailors loaded the chest onto their ship and prepared to leave. But as they sailed away, they could hear the sound of drums growing louder and louder until they were right beside them. Turning around, they saw a large fleet of strange boats approaching them. On each boat was a crew of dark-skinned men beating drums and chanting in a language the sailors did not understand. The sailors panicked and dropped anchor, but the strange boats continued to approach. Eventually, the sailors opened fire on the approaching boats, killing several of the men. This seemed to stun the natives and they retreated back to shore. In the morning, the sailors went back to the island, but the beach was empty and there was no sign of the natives. The sailors returned to Ireland with their treasure, but they soon began to suffer from bad luck. Their ships were wrecked and their families were killed, and so they came to believe that the treasure was cursed.